I'm in the mood for dancing, romancing, ooh, dancing the night away, dancing. Don't you just love anime big titty girls who like to dance in front of you all day long? Now, these are not my creations. I have to credit another YouTube user called Timu14 who allowed me the good grace to use her creations. So thank you to her because she does amazing content and she allowed me to use this with her permission, of course. But on today's video, folks, and you girls, you just keep on dancing because honestly, I just don't know what to do any longer because I'm going absolutely insane. Well, the mightiest have fallen, folks. It's not Capcom. Their turn is due to come very, very soon. No, this is all about Bandai Namco. Oh no. Well, girls, how much money do you want each? Because I've only got £3. I mean, you're cheap and you're cheerful. And most importantly, you got big titties.
Let's fucking go! Let's fucking go. Come again? Don't worry, baby, I'm coming.
Well, space fans, exciting news, huh? And there's even more in part 2.
On today's episode of Kung Fu Hot Dog.
Okay, you can come. Are you coming?
Kind of busy right now.
And I'm coming for it, Ken. I'm coming for the fucking money, you piece of shit.
I'm like getting the feeling of coming in the gym. I'm getting the feeling of coming at home. I'm getting the feeling.
In the ass end of space, even aliens watch Jason King with Kung Fu Hot Dog.
This is the greatest show I've seen in my life.
Duke Nukem likes this guy.
Approved by 1970s Robert Redford.
So courtesy of Niche Gamer. Oh, this article was published about 5 days ago. A representative from Bandai Namco, and her name, by the way, is Akuma Mirai, and she just looks, she looks like she's had too many dumplings, shall we say. So she hosted a panel discussing Bandai Namco's approach to DEI initiatives. So DEI or DIE policies have come under fire in recent months after concerns of quality have arisen regarding games being used for social messaging at the expense of being fun and marketable. Because God forbid, folks, we just can't have a fun hobby that we can enjoy for hours upon end. Despite being one of the most widely recognized gaming companies in the world, Ms. Mirai from Bandai Namco expressed the company's desire to expose their games to a wider variety of players. Is she kidding me? One of the examples cited by Miss Akuma Matata is the addition of dreadlocked hairstyles to Blue Protocol, which is something they hadn't considered. Oh really? Wow, so is that taking a black dreadlocked hairstyle and putting it on a white character and hoping that you get away with it because it won't be culturally appropriated, which is bullshit anyway, because we all know, folks, that the Vikings had braided hairstyles back in their day. They were the first people known to have that hairstyle. It's worth mentioning that Blue Protocol announced its end of service in Japan, and its global release has been cancelled, but from what I know, the mobile version is continuing. And what's really funny about that, one of the companies behind Blue Protocol is Tencent. Tencent, who are meant to be a based company, but from the research I've done, they don't seem to be at all, which is a bit sad actually. Information about DEI was also shared within the Bandai Namco Group. Oh no. It has strong ties with bases in the US and Europe and handles a large number of titles, so it seems that they were able to obtain useful information and knowledge.
La mezcla de Azucena es genial. Tú también lo crees, ¿no?
The irony is about all of that is that Bandai Namco are being socially engineered themselves and they don't know it. I find that absolutely hilarious. Mr. Kuma Matata also went on to defend localization practices, explaining English in Western societies as low context due to their multiculturalism. I really do hate that word. On the other hand, Western culture is low context, starting from a place of no common understanding and placing emphasis on verbal expression. What? So if you're living in the UK, the Queen's English is a bad thing now? Which is due to the fact that Western countries are multi-ethnic countries with immigrants and other factors. That sounds like a bit of a racist slur from Miss Akuma Matata, don't you think? Are you immigrant? You can't come here. Therefore, it was shown that simply translating Japanese lines and explanations into the local language may not be interpreted well due to a lack of words. But you're translating your Japanese text for English or non-English speaking people who might be able to understand what's being relayed in front of their gameplay sequences. This doesn't make any sense whatsoever. This is in spite of the fact that English-speaking consumers are expected to trust localizers, which they shouldn't, by the way, to provide an authentic product respecting the creator's vision and intentions, with fans responding positively when translations are done faithfully, which is not often the case because localizers like to change the original text or the script and just make it about social engineering, you know, catering for the pronoun brigade.
For me to say I love you, words don't come easy.
In the coming months, we'll see how Bandai Namco intends to implement and represent these new values for the company, which is funny because Sweet Baby Inc., I believe, also had their filthy mugging hands on the Final Fantasy VII remakes, you know, removing Tifa's underwear from a bedroom scene when her and Lightning go to her apartment. So they had a hand in that, and I think Square Enix realized because of the bad sales of FF7 Rebirth, which, remember folks, was just on the PlayStation 5, so they did limit the release of that game to other platforms, but also, again, maybe die-hard, hardcore fans of FF7 weren't happy with the direction that particular remake took. Mighty Keith, a very insufferable guy, this is what he had to say about all the backlash against Bandai Namco at the moment. Or was it Namco Bandai? I don't really care at this stage. This is why grifters are a cancer to the gaming community. You can tell that this guy's already vying on the side of communism because community sounds like commie, right? They take any source they find, no matter if it's unverified or out of context, and they attach it to games or topics where they don't belong. You got the creator of Tekken literally telling them they are wrong, except I've just read to you that the creator of Tekken, okay, or the people, that representative spokeswoman, Miss Akuna Matata, is speaking on behalf of Tekken and basically saying, look, we're just going to put everything fast forward here and your next Tekken game is going to be absolutely filled with Street Fighter 6 qualities of cringe. Because if you remember in Street Fighter 6, you had that blue-haired host coming out going, hello, blah, 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 and you couldn't skip this scene. It was so funny, actually.
Either way, we're more than happy to have you.
But yeah, of course, Keith would say that because he needs his precious access to video games. He can't be speaking out against it. But of course, as he's a man of diversity, he won't get a backlash. That's the other defense mechanism he's got there. So, as Scratch Points has said here, Bandai Namco recently announced a DEI training program. This sounds a bit like the Bourne Identity, right? Yep, Jason Bourne gets brainwashed into becoming a $30 million killing machine. It sounds like this, but on a less aggressive level. It's more aggressive in a more hive mind, Manchurian candidate kind of way, right? And look at that. Asian game devs Well, work hard with a plastic chicken on my head, and my game sold 10 million copies in 3 days. I scanned the top model's ass for my in-game character. I don't pick up Sweet Baby Inc.'s calls. I don't pick up Western Game Journo's calls. Western game devs, my robots have pronouns. I'm funded by the Ministry of Counter Disinformation. You get it? It goes on. If Ubisoft wants to be saved, at least nearly 20,000 layoffs need to be done. So that's actually, I don't know how Mangaloy got this, but this is an actual game dev wearing a plastic chicken on his head, working for Game Science. So I can actually believe that. It's pretty funny. I don't think that's actually, yeah, it's the actual Black Myth Wukong developers here. So this guy obviously likes to be a bit of a clown at work, and that's what you should be doing, folks. When you're enjoying and consuming a product, have fun making the damn thing. I actually agree with that. Oh yeah, 343 Industries, headed by Barney Ross, who left the company, I believe. Yeah, all made up of chicks. Chicks wearing pride colors on their t-shirts. Yeah, we don't care. Yeah, well, Halo's a shit franchise now, so who really cares? I preferred the original Halos when they were under Bungie. But you know what, Namco? You know what, Capcom? I think you guys are going to be next. You're going to ruin my girl, Jill Valentine, right here. Yes, more of my crazy AI creations because I love AI. And let's have a quick browse through this selection right here. Oh, yeah, oh, yeah, oh, wow. Well, back to the video, folks. Ooh. Soul Calibur. And this, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, is the female character creation. I can hardly wait to see what unfolds right here. You keep playing with the colors, and I'll keep on staring. Oh, jiggle, short skirt. Oh, I love this character design already. And very sadly, ladies and gentlemen, as we pan out a little bit more, this is what you won't be seeing in any Soul Calibur games coming out from Bandai Namco in the future, because unfortunately it just seems that someone has gotten to the Japanese video game developers out there, completely brainwashed them, and now they're forced to succumb to the West, which makes absolutely no sense. And by the way, folks, the Wonder Woman game that is stuck in development hell, made by Monolith Studios, the same people behind those great Shadow of War games featuring the lore of Lord of the Rings, right? How do you think that's going to go forward? I think we're going to get the ugliest Diana Prince ever created in a video game. It's going to happen, folks. I don't hold that much hope for this. I don't understand why Bandai Namco, of all companies, are going to be censoring their designs in video games. It's what sold them in the first place.
Nada supera la mezcla de sus cenas. ¿No creen?
But I guess when the next Tekken title comes out, people will stay away from it in the droves. Once you know that DEI and pronoun to be in the player menu and also reflected in the character design, they won't be sexy anymore, they'll be less attractive. Cast your mind back, folks, if you're old enough to remember, to the 70s and the 80s when adverts were the absolute must-see in between the awful film or TV show you were watching, because people gathered around their TV sets. I know such a thing existed back in those decades, to see the very creative minds behind those marketing campaigns, even for the naffest products like Seconda watches, which used to be manufactured in the Soviet Union. I have no idea why I'm saying it with a French accent, but the point of this video is, and like all ads back in those decades, the actual marketing teams knew how to sell a product. And of course, when it comes to video games today, especially in the West, that doesn't exist anymore.
Hey! Saved at last!
Good grief, man. How long have you been here?
My yacht went down in 1954. What year is it now?
1978, September. Thursday, the 7th.
What's
Good
that?
timestamp.
Seconda quartz.
Seconda quartz.
Yes, you see it has a permanent display. Shows hours, minutes, seconds.
Which looks like a
4 seconds
Casio
day,
ripoff, funny
and a
enough.
stopwatch.
An electronic
Whoa,
alarm.
bloody hell.
Absolutely wonderful. Goodness gracious me. Give me the watch. I'll introduce you to her sister.
Well, quiet.
Lotus Blossom.
That's Western video gaming right there. That's going to be the future of Bandai Namco.
Second quartz. A lot of watch for a little money.
See what I mean? It's just like you take the naffest product ever and you turn it into something memorable. People remember it. Will you remember a DEI or ESG advert from TV today where they take a very famous song and they turn it into a car sales ad with lots of diversity, and the first person you see has to be one of diversity? I mean, bird eye fish fingers. Do you think the captain's going to stay white for any longer? I don't think so, but I really do hope that the marketing team do decide to change his race just to piss off their customers. That would be absolutely hilarious. I really don't understand why this world is imploding on itself, and you get brainwashed morons like the mighty Keith who thinks he's preaching from a sermon on the Mount of Sinai, and it doesn't make any sense. But you know what makes sense, folks? You guys watching this video, watching me making a total buffoon of myself and absolutely enjoying every single minute of it. So if you were me and if I were you, you should return for the next video. Holy shit.